Erik and Lyle Menendez, the infamous brothers. The savagery of their crime, the murders of both their mother and father, seem beyond comprehension. Tonight, for the very first time out of court, you will hear their story. Tonight, watching our interview, you can reach your own verdict about them. We begin with the crime itself. A hot August night in 1989. The Beverly Hills mansion of entertainment executive Jose Menendez. He and his wife Kitty are watching television in the family room. Suddenly, a brutal volley of shotgun fire. Jose Menendez is killed by a close-in shot to the head. He has 5 other shotgun wounds. Kitty Menendez's body is riddled with shotgun pellets.
She had 10 wounds on her. She was getting blasted all over that room.
Don't kill my parents.
Pardon me?
Don't kill my parents.
Were they shot?
Yes.
They were shot?
Yes.
The voice of Lyle Menendez, then 21 years old, who tells police that he and his brother Erik, then 18, discovered the bodies as they returned home from a movie. Lyle and Erik Menendez lied successfully for months. But if their crime was a horror movie, their undoing was the stuff of soap opera. Erik, in torment, confessed his crime to his therapist, Dr. Jerome Oziel. Lyle then also admitted to the murders. Their confession was overheard by Oziel's mistress, Judalon Smith, and she went to the police. Lyle was arrested in California. Erik, who had been traveling overseas, voluntarily flew home to surrender. 3 years later, the Menendez brothers went on trial for their lives.
I was just firing as I went into the room. I just started firing.
In what direction?
In front of me.
What was in front of you?
My parents.
And I remember firing directly at him.
You reloaded? Is that yes?
Yes.
And what did you do after you reloaded?
I ran around and shot my mom.
This is the woman who gave birth to them. This is what they did to their mother.
The jury heard tapes of the brothers' confession to Dr. Oziel.
There was no way I was going to make a decision to kill my mother without Erik's consent.
When their turn came, Erik and Lyle Menendez told a rapt courtroom that the murder of their parents was an act of self-defense. They said they were in fear of their lives from a controlling father who had been sexually abusing them.
He raped me.
Did you cry?
Yes.
Did you bleed?
Yes.
Were you scared?
Very.
Lyle said his abuse stopped when he was 8, but that he didn't know until just before the murders that Erik was being molested too.
What do you believe was the originating cause of you and your brother ultimately winding up shooting your parents?
Me telling.
You telling what?
Me telling Lyle that,
You telling Lyle what? Was it you telling Lyle about something that was happening?
My dad had been molesting me.
The brothers' testimony was compelling and effective. Relatives testified on their behalf about incidents in which their father treated the sons harshly, though none of them could actually confirm the allegations of sexual abuse. The jurors could not decide between verdicts of murder and manslaughter.
I find that the jury is hopelessly deadlocked, and the court declares a mistrial.
In August of 1995, now 6 years after their parents' murders, the Menendez brothers went on trial again. This time, there were no video cameras. Erik testified, but Lyle chose not to. Judge Stanley Weisberg again presided, but in a major blow for them, limited the brothers' claims to self-defense. There were far fewer grounds this time for a possible verdict of manslaughter. The jury deliberated for less than 4 days. The verdict? Lyle and Erik Menendez, both guilty of first-degree murder. The jury spent 3 more days deciding between life and death. The verdict here was life, in prison with no parole. The Menendez brothers have spent more than 6 years in this building, the Los Angeles County Jail. Erik lives in the identical cell next to this one. It measures 7.5 by 9 feet. Lyle's cell, in another wing of the jail, is slightly smaller. Both brothers are segregated from the general population. Each of the brothers, separately, is allowed up to 3 hours of exercise a week on the jail's roof. Erik and Lyle Menendez will be moved to state prison, perhaps even to separate prisons, this summer. Our interview took place in the jail's administrative wing, some distance from their cells.
It's currently 1:33 in the morning. I did vote today. Well, yesterday. I'm currently editing. This would probably be last week's video. But I'm headed to New Jersey in a couple hours with the intentions of going to speak to the parents of the Menendez brothers and just to get their side of the story. So I said I was going to start doing more behind the scenes footage and just kind of show the process leading up to it, leading up to my shift, especially when I travel. So this is me trying to accomplish that. So again, it is 1:34 in the morning. I'm in my office. My flight leaves at 7 a.m. So I have to be at the airport by like 5:30. But let's see how much of this video I can get edited. See y'all in a minute. One thing about your fearless shift leader, I am not gonna miss a flight. What is that? Y'all look at the bags on my eyes. I'm sleepy. I haven't went to sleep at all tonight. I haven't gone to sleep at all. But that's okay. I'm gonna sleep on this flight to Jersey. I'm gonna hit the ground, shifting, and then I'm gonna go to my hotel. I'm gonna rest all night, and I will be at the New Jersey Paracon on tomorrow of me filming this video. Now look at that pimple. Look at that pimple. Come on now. I only bought one seat on the plane, baby. Where you gonna sit at? Right next to you. Childish. It's the sleepiness taking over y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Me and Pimpy, me and Big Pimpin', we tired, y'all. About to grab this rental car. Still running off no sleep. Maybe I can catch a nap in the cemetery, y'all. I know I do this too much because I told Stacy that same thing just now. I was like, babe, I'm just gonna get the rental car. I'm gonna go take me a nap in the cemetery. She was like, okay, just make sure you get a comfortable spot. Why is my wife okay with me sleeping in a cemetery? Because it's safer there than a lot of other places. Here we are at the Princeton Cemetery in Princeton, New Jersey. It's nestled right in this little neighborhood with houses and restaurants. But now, this is the task at hand. Trying to find the Menendez family. They have brochures for notable people entered here, but let's just see if they are on here. Let me see. It's definitely a windy day here in Princeton, New Jersey. But in the words of my beautiful wife, we just gonna have to make it do what it do, baby. I want to say the resting spot is in the back here. We are determined to find it, y'all. Now I can say all these leaves are beautiful in this resting community. It's almost like painting the ground a goldish color, like the yellow brick road. It's a beautiful day in Princeton. Look at the clouds. All right. So I feel like based off the map and other videos I've seen that the Menendez family, y'all, I promise you it was not this windy on the way out here. Let's just see, the Menendez. To all those that are resting, my name is Dalen. And I came here to try and find the Menendez family. If my Boy Scout skills are correct, they should be somewhere up back here. But I was looking, I was like, who done? They done decorated. This grave with all type of Halloween decorations. That's funny. That's funny. Their family must really liked Halloween. What's up, Brody? How you feeling, brother? Look at that smile. What's up, brother? I hope you're resting well. Raymond. What up, Raymond? I hope you're resting well, brother. Now let's check out the Menendez brothers, or the Menendez family. They're over here in the very, very back of the Princeton Cemetery here in Princeton, New Jersey. And nestled in the very, very back corner, you have Mary L. Kitty and Jose E. Menendez, the parents of Lyle and Erik Menendez, who tragically lost their lives in 1989. The brothers did confess to the murders, but their reasoning behind doing so, no one knows for sure. So we're here to speak to Mary and Jose just to try to get their story, or at least as much of it as we can. We come in love, peace, and respect, Mary and Jose. There's a lot of news been going on about your sons as of late, and I would just love to come here and hear your truth. Again, my name is Dalen. I'm with a group of people called the Graveyard Shift. We come to resting communities like this, and we try to speak to those who may not have been spoken to in a long time. Love, love, love. What's going on, everybody? It's your fearless shift leader, Dalen, clocked in for another amazing shift. Y'all, I hope the wind doesn't get to us. I hope the wind doesn't get to us too badly. But I wanted to come here and I wanted to speak to Kitty and Jose. When this awful, awful tragedy happened, I was 4 years old. So I don't remember it happening in real time, but I've always followed the story of the Menendez brothers. So we've all heard the story. We know what happened. We know what they claimed happened. But, you know, there's a lot of conflicting stories. The boys say that they were sexually abused by their parents. Their father was mean and cruel. Their mother was, you know, on the verge of unaliving herself. So they said those were all the driving factors that led them to do what they did. But the only thing about that is there was really no one there to corroborate their story like that. There's a couple friends, a couple family members that said that, you know, they had been told in the past that their parents were abusing them, but I guess no one ever did anything. The first trial that they did was they got a mistrial, immediately tried them again, and they were found guilty of the murder of their parents. The only thing about it, the parents were never alive to defend themselves. And then the allegations of sexual assault and all of that didn't come until like months after the parents were killed and the brothers were being looked at to be charged. The defense came up with that strategy. So who knows if it was even true. Then one of the brothers actually wrote a play back in the day detailing him killing his parents and getting the insurance money. Jose, Kitty, I say all that to say I don't know. I don't know what really happened. I don't know what I don't know. But what I do know this wind is not playing. The wind is not playing, y'all. But we're here today to find the truth. Miss Kitty, Mr. Jose, again, I come in love, peace, and respect. I mean no harm, no disrespect. I would just love to get them down to the bottom of the truth. They've been making movies as of late about your story with your sons, and I just feel like they keep getting their story off. I would love to hear yours. Is Mary or Jose here? Got in there. Can you tell me who I'm talking to? Did you say Mary? You hope I find her? So is Mary not here? Let me let the wind die down a little bit. Hey, Mary. I promise you I don't have any ill intentions, and I know this is a very, very hard topic for you. But I would love to speak to you. Is Mary here? Yep. Okay, Mary, is your husband Jose here? Can you say your names for me, please? Okay. Jose, are you here? He said, yeah, I'm here. He said, me? Sound like somebody answered for you, Jose. Was it Mary? Was Mary over here answering for you? My wife does the same thing. He said, oh, we know. Oh, y'all must have heard about Stacy, huh? Did you say heartless? Hold on now. My baby ain't heartless. She just a little tough. Okay, Mary and Jose, I have some real serious questions for you. Do you mind if I ask you some questions about what happened the night you passed away? You said these boys? The children? You was upset with them? Yeah? Why were you upset with them? So the night that you lost your lives, were you upset with your sons? Yeah? What did they do to make you upset? Did you have a feeling that the boys were plotting to hurt you? You said something about tennis? Now, one of your sons was very good at tennis. Practice. At what point did you know there was something wrong with your sons? Were your sons always troubled? Did you feel like you could help get your boys on the right track? My jacket keeps blowing away. But Miss Kitty, y'all. All those leaves are kicking up like baby tornadoes. Miss Kitty, at what point did you know that your boys were on the wrong track?
Good.
Okay, Miss Kitty, I'm gonna ask you some hard questions now. Did you ever hurt your boys? Kitty, did you ever see Jose hurt your son? Jose, did you ever hurt your son?
Nope.
Hold on, y'all. We got some visitors, y'all. Let me step off for a second. Let you deal with other people, Kitty and Jose. How's it going? Hey, how are you? I'm good, good.
You doing video?
Yeah, man, just for my YouTube channel. Yeah, just going over the story. Came to pay my respect.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, let me give you guys some time. Go ahead, for sure. No, take your time. It's a windy day, y'all. Windy day. Apparently, a lot of people come visit the Menendez family. So let me scoot to the side and let other people get their turn. That's what I was reading.
And now this movie even too.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that lawyer's behind the movie. The lawyer wouldn't even talk anymore. The one that started the whole script in 1994 for them.
Yeah. That's what they were saying, that it didn't come out till the defense. Like the defense is what put that argument out.
The therapist.
Right.
They never mentioned it even at the first trial.
Right.
So Abramson came up with this plan. And now even when I watched the movie now, and you can see she must be behind the movie.
Yeah.
Because the movie
is through her narrative almost.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got to be, because now she won't talk to the press anymore.
That's
she won't talk about
wild.
it anymore. They had to move twice because they were robbing houses because they didn't want to work. They didn't want to do anything.
Yep.
And you know what the funny part is? If they just shut up and say, let me go work at Walmart or something. In those days. Just do anything. This guy would have been worth about $1 billion today.
Oh, wow.
He was partners with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, wow.
Stallone came to the funeral.
Really?
Yeah, they were very close.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There's something, this generation, they're just so dumb that, like the DA said, why don't we just now have TikTok? Why don't we just have TikTok now? Get everybody out of jail now. Let's do that.
Right. I'm curious what's going to happen, man. They're fighting to try to let them out now.
I think they get out. They're going to get out.
You think so?
Christmas. I have a feeling now. Because Garcon, that idiot in California, because I go to California a lot.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to throw him out. So they think he did this as a stunt. Got you.
Yeah, name recognition, because the timing is really convenient, right? The thing just came out.
Right.
Whatever that thing is, Gavin Newsom,
he
said he's going to let him out.
Whatever.
That's crazy. They said they spent like $700,000 immediately after the...
You know the money? Yeah. God knows the money that they gave those family members 35 years later to come out. Then the kid from Menudo, all of a sudden, 35 years later, why didn't he come out during the trial?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
35 years later, yeah, he raped me.
Right.
And I just say to myself, if you want to let them go, let them go. Maybe they are rehab. But how do you do that to your mother and father?
Man.
And at the trial, then they never mention the mother at all. Then they go, well, how did you shoot your mother 5 times with a shotgun?
And when it reloaded.
And reload. What did she do?
Right.
So he talks, baby. I don't care what anybody
right.
says.
Then their story was, well, she couldn't live without him.
Okay. They were doing her a favor?
Right.
Give her a chance to live without him.
They were 22 and 20 years old.
Right.
We were in danger. Hurry up. We were in danger.
That's what they were saying.
Sick.
They went and bought the guns because they were fear of their lives.
But they went partying for almost a year.
Right.
Almost a year. Spent over $1 million in 3 weeks. And this trial, because they had so much money, this was before OJ.
Yeah.
This was before another trial. What was the other trial in California? This went to 1996 when they finally put them in jail.
Was it that long?
Yeah. It took them 7 years to put them in jail.
Sheesh. I didn't know it was that long.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That's wild. And just the history that's just literally laying in this resting community in the corner.
And then when I talk to some of these young people on TikTok and I tell them the story, they go, oh, we didn't know that. She goes, I didn't know anything about it. But she was trying to get them out.
Yeah.
Trying to get them out.
Right.
She didn't know.
I saw the Kardashians trying to, too.
Yeah, Kim was trying to publish
that was
everything.
Interesting to me. I wonder why she jumped on that.
Yeah, she used to be actually doing good things.
Yeah.
To get women out that got 40 years for selling a joint.
Yeah, right.
And now we're getting into the high-end thing now. And God knows the money that these guys are going to be giving out to those family members. Because I think that they're definitely getting out.
Where is the money?
They said the money was spent. Which I don't believe.
Do we know how much they end up getting?
They got $14 million.
They got $14 million?
Yeah. But then they said that the money was spent on legal fees.
I saw that they went and destroyed the will on the computer. They felt like the father had a new will.
He was taking them out.
Yeah.
And so the movie, he never took them out of the will. So then they looked at each other. Like, why did we do this? And like I said, this guy would have been worth at least $1 billion today.
If they would have let him keep making money.
That is crazy.
That was a visionary beyond belief.
Yeah.
Brilliant man.
That's because they were too lazy.
Bums. They just didn't want to do it.
Because
They're robbing houses
really,
in
if you know
Calabasas.
that you
Yeah,
can
they
get
were.
all this money when this man dies, why wouldn't you just do what he said?
Just do something.
Why wouldn't you just go to work?
They weren't doing anything.
Do what he says and
No, he
stop
was-
being a jerk.
You know what? But the movie also, you see in the movie though, like how he said, you guys got to be, they had to leave Calabasas, California.
And move to Beverly
They're
Hills.
robbing the houses there.
Yep.
So he goes, we have to leave now because I'm just too ashamed.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is what money does.
You never know who you raising in your own house, man. That's what's wild.
I'm kidding around. I call my sons the Menendez boys.
Do you?
They're wonderful, wonderful
They would
boys.
never.
They're wonderful guys. They're great men.
But they're a little spoiled and a little.
But Anthony was like just born 2 months after this.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart. And I would say to them, if you guys are going to tell me you're going to play tennis, because I know they don't play any sports.
Right.
I know you're getting ready to blow us.
You getting up out of there, huh?
I'm jumping out of the porch. But it's funny, he's married with children.
Yeah.
What's your website, gravesite, shit?
What's the name? So my YouTube channel is my name, Dalen Spratt, but our group is called the Graveyard Shift. And we we go all over the country.
He loves that stuff.
Yeah, we try to tell stories for
I go to
people
Hollywood
arrested.
Cemetery, too.
Yep. Been out there in LA a few times, man.
Hollywood Cemetery, you got to be there for like 3
So
days.
many people. So many. Yeah, it's huge.
So many.
The history there is crazy.
Yep.
But definitely check us out. Yeah.
I will, definitely.
I appreciate that. What's your name?
Anthony,
I'm Dalen.
Nice to meet
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Joanne.
I'm Dalen. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Y'all be safe. But thank you for the info, for sure. Y'all, the camera keeps cutting off. So we just gonna get right back to it. I know I asked you these questions, but the camera was off. So I'm just gonna ask you just straightforward questions again. It's the same questions I just asked you, but just no beating around the bush. Jose, let's just get straight to it, man. Do you feel like you were responsible for pushing your sons to the limit and causing them to hurt you? What do you feel like you did that caused them to be pushed to the limit? Mary, did you know Jose was hurting your sons? Did you have any inclination that your boys were being hurt by their father? Now, let's not get it wrong. Two things can be true at once. Your boys could have been spoiled rotten and devious, and you could have also pushed them over the edge by abusing them. Are both things true? Do you have any regrets? Do you feel like your sons have received the punishment that they deserve? Do you want them released from jail? Maybe. Do you forgive your sons for killing you all? Do you still love your sons after what they did to you?
Where?
Somebody say, oh no.
No.
No? Do you have hate in your heart towards your son? For a long time? What were your feelings? What made you hate them? Like, I know they killed you, but do you understand their reasoning? Do you feel like they had a ton of other options? Did you have plans of rearranging your will? Said my whole thing. Do you know how you passed away? Do you know how you passed away?
Yeah.
No, want to go. You didn't want to go? How did your sons take your life?
And the worst else. California.
Shot? Yep. Do you know what type of gun you were shot with? Was it a big gun or a little gun?
No.
Is there any way you feel like you guys could have got away? Thinking back at it, did you see any signs that this was coming? She said, "Where's Mary?" She said, "I'm dead." So do you feel like your son should get out of jail? She said no. Do they deserve to stay there the rest of their life? Did you ever think your sons could do something like that? You said he could? Was there anything else you would like to say to us? There's a lot of people you can ask. But let me ask you this. The things that you did do, that you can admit to, do you feel like they were warranted enough for your sons to kill you? Did it warrant them killing you? Did you say which son? Did you abuse one child more than the other? Some about therapy. Now, granted, y'all, I could be hearing this all the way wrong, and he could be like, "I ain't touched them boys. I ain't touched them boys." But then again, we don't know. Like, I'm just trying to make words and phrases out from this box. I'm gonna go back and listen really well with my headphones. But I wanted to come speak to the Menendez family. Just with everything that's going on in the media right now, I just felt like now was the time for you to give your side of the story. We're not judging at all. At all. I just want to know your truth. I'm anxious to go back and hear some of these answers. I hope that you didn't feel like I was coming at you accusingly. Which word am I looking for? Y'all let me know. Am I coming at them accusingly, or is this accusatory? Or can it be both? My point is, I'm not accusing y'all. I don't know what happened that night. I can't talk to your sons, but I can come talk to y'all. And I just want y'all to be able to get your word and your message out to the public. Everybody's hearing your son's perspective, but nobody's hearing y'all's. So Jose, Kitty, if y'all wasn't, you know what I'm saying, abusing and harming your kids, I hope everything works out. If y'all were, I hope everything works out. Do you enjoy when people come visit you? Well, Menendez family, I appreciate your time. Do you mind if I come back and visit you? Is there anything you would like to say to your sons if they're watching? One more time. Is there anything you would like to say to your sons if they were listening right now? Say you damaged our home?
From our the coast.
Is there anything that you would like for me to do for you?
Wait.
You said stay with me?
Where?
Well, I hope you're at peace. Are you at peace? What would cause you to have peace right now? So you're trying here? Okay, family. Thank you so much for your time. Y'all, I'm anxious to go back and play this video. I'm curious what was said and what wasn't said. I don't know. I'm gonna have to maybe go edit this video, listen to it, and then come back and give my thoughts at the end of it. Because it's windy out here, getting these interruptions. I need to go back and hear these answers. So I'm probably gonna put a review at the end of this video, just with my thoughts. So yeah, let me get up out of here. Let me get to edited. Menendez family, I hope you're resting well and peaceful. I hate whatever happened to you all. And I just hope y'all didn't do what them boys said y'all did, man. All right, Graveyard Shift family. Until next time. Matter of fact, you guys stay put. My thoughts are about to air right now. Love, love, love. Family, I don't know. After reviewing this case, doing the spirit box session, watching the interviews, I do feel like, and this is just the opinion of Dalen. I don't know nothing about nothing but what I know. But nah, do I feel like there was some sort of abuse in the household? Maybe mental, maybe physical, maybe some sort of neglect? Quite possibly. I do. Do I feel like the mother knew? Yeah. Did I feel like she had a drinking problem or something? Possibly. Or a substance abuse problem? Possibly. I probably feel like there was probably maybe like a lot of neglect. Do I feel like there was sexual abuse? I'm not here to discredit anyone's claims, but I'm just not too sure. I'm not too sure if it was any sexual abuse. Just because, like I said, the claims didn't start until they were on trial. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like they never claimed anything of that before. And then the way that they were just spending the money right after the killings. And it was just, maybe they were just spoiled rich kids that wanted more by any means necessary. They wouldn't be the first and they wouldn't be the last to ever do anything like that. Again, I don't know. I'm just throwing my opinion out. I do feel like it was calculated. I do feel like it was planned. I feel like they maybe used something smaller to try to justify their major actions. Do I feel like the dad could have been, verbally, maybe mentally, for sure? That the mother may have had a substance problem, sure, but I don't think any of that maybe warranted them taking their lives. I don't know. What do you think? Y'all let me know. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, we're not here to judge. We're just going by off the information that we have. But I do have 15 minutes of an interview with the Menendez brothers, and I'm about to play now. If you got an extra 15 minutes and you want to hear them talk and kind of gauge their personalities from their words, their expressions, and them being together, notice how they look at each other, how they talk with each other, how they engage. Just take these 15 minutes and maybe it will change your opinion of them, or maybe it will, justify it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Love, love, love. Oh yeah, and check out my other YouTube channel, Ghost of the Roaster, with me and my wife. I'm going to attach 2 videos at the end of this video. If you feel like watching, check us out. Love, love, love. See you later.
What went through your minds when you heard that verdict? First-degree murder, guilty.
That I was going to spend the rest of my life in prison without any possibility of ever getting released. And you're devastated. I was devastated.
Could have been death. Did you think that?
I was terrified that they would give either one of us death, and that's scary.
It's important to you to stay together when you get moved to the state prison?
Very important. That is what's gotten us through these 6 years and through our life. The family that Erik and I grew up in, we had to be there for each other throughout, and it really created a bond that gets us through very rough periods.
Some people might say, why should we put them together? I mean, look what they did. They should be punished as much as possible. Let's separate them. What do you say to that? You know people will say that, some.
There's nothing to say to that. What we did, it was awful, and I wish I could go back. We will spend the rest of our life in prison. But if we're not put in the same prison, there's a good probability I will never see him again. And that some things that you cannot take, and there's some things that you can endure. With everything taken away, it would be the last, it's the last thing you can take.
Do you think the media has portrayed you fairly? Can you tell?
I don't know if anyone can be portrayed fairly in the media, who they are.
Well, let me say it. There are people, a great number of people, who think that you two are spoiled brats, that you are evil, that you are monsters. What do you say to them?
That's not who I am, but I can't defend that. Because I came from a family of wealth, it doesn't make me spoiled.
I would be surprised if anybody that was present at the trial and saw the whole thing, rather than snippets on the news, would feel that.
A jury found you both guilty.
Right, but I don't think you aren't guilty because they found you spoiled.
Mm-hmm. Or evil.
Or evil.
I'm just a normal kid.
Oh, Erik, you're a normal kid who killed your parents.
Yeah, I know.
And you still say you're a normal kid?
Well, I didn't have normal experiences, but I am. I did that, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about what happened and wish that I could take that moment back or change what happened. But it's hard to live with that.
Do you feel remorse?
Tremendous remorse. And I think
there's tremendous pain. I mean, from the second that I got back to the house after the shootings, I saw what happened and I said, this is wrong. This is awful. How could this have happened? I couldn't accept it.
You couldn't accept it, but you called the police. You pretended that you hadn't done it. You cried. You went off on a spending spree. I mean, we all read about it. You bought Rolexes, you bought cars, you didn't say, oh my God, what have I done, and turn yourself in.
Well, that's not really what happened.
Well, I've sort of stuck it all together, but...
Yeah, you did a good job at it. We got back to the house, the police were there, and it was a matter of telling him you did it, or just saying, I don't know who did it. And that's what we did. And if I could go back, perhaps I'd say I did it.
I mean, part of that started from the fact that we waited afterwards, and the police did not come. And in that time that we waited and waited, you know, we did make a bad decision to not have to...
We expected the police to be there. I mean...
You expected the police to come there and arrest you.
12 shots in the middle of Beverly Hills on a Sunday night, and no one calls the police. We're waiting at the house. No one shows up. And I still can't believe it.
So you called the police, but at that point you had already decided...
We had decided not to...
You weren't going to say anything.
We were very stunned, and we felt that we would go to jail, obviously, and we... It was a selfish reason to just not want to have to go through that.
What about spending the money? You know, cars, watches, invested in businesses, the good life.
Well, it was the same life before or afterwards.
With more money.
With more money, but I didn't know what to do with the money. It got to a point where I have all this money and so much pain, I don't know what to do with it, and eventually...
I don't know, you're losing me. I would think that you would be in such grief that you wouldn't be able to buy Rolexes and invest in businesses. Explain to me. Let me understand. I'm the public.
I don't think that it's understandable. I mean, people react to some traumatic event like that in different ways.
You went to your psychologist, Dr. Oziel, and told him that you had committed this crime.
It got to a point where I could no longer live. I felt that I was the worst person on earth, and it got to a point where I couldn't live with myself anymore, and I needed help. And so I went to him, and that is what the catalyst was for me getting arrested in Lyle.
You've had a lot of therapy.
6 years of intense therapy.
How are you different than the man who came in here?
I'm 6 years older. I'm a lot more mature. I came in here as an 18-year-old kid who didn't know anything about life.
What did you learn about yourself?
I learned I learned what love was about. I learned what love was about because of my grandmother, because of all my relatives who didn't say, I can't believe you did this. Instead, they said, Erik, I know who you are. You're not this type of person. You're not the type of person who could do this for no reason.
Have you had therapy, Lyle?
The same therapy, and it really works to just have someone you can communicate with that's willing to listen. All our lives, it was just sort of fending off things.
It almost sounds like prison was a good thing for you.
It was.
It was?
I mean, at first, I killed my parents, and I spent 6 months out there in horrible agony because I had done this. I mean, a year before I told my mother how much I loved her. I could not have imagined doing this even a week before to her. I adored her. And then suddenly you're arrested, and everyone can know you did it, and you can finally tell people, and it's a relief.
Lyle, you're looking at your brother like you almost never heard this before. Tell me how you felt.
You know, for me, emotionally being in prison conditions was really not, emotionally was not a shocking difference from the life we had lived, because we lived really a very stressful, fearful life. And to me, it was kind of like I felt I should be punished. And it didn't feel good, but there was a part of you that feels like
That's right.
It's better.
You get a lot of mail?
We still get a tremendous amount of mail.
Hundreds?
We've gotten hundreds, thousands over the years.
We asked your lawyers to give us a sample of some of your letters. A great many of them seem to deal with from people who have been abused themselves and relate to you. Lyle, what do you say to people who write to you?
A lot of people that have written were very, they drew a lot of strength from watching the trial and from seeing Erik and I. And I've gotten mail after the verdict of people discouraged. And I wanted to say to them to not lose hope because of this one case and this one verdict. Very unique situation here, and that this does not mean that if they go get help, people won't believe them, or people will treat them harshly, or they'll be ridiculed. I don't feel they will be.
That's not to say do what we did. Don't do what we did, but don't be afraid of getting help.
People that want to reach out to social workers for help, but are ashamed or afraid.
Do you also get love letters?
Yeah, some.
You find that strange?
It's a strange phenomenon that a lot of love letters come in from people that don't know you at all.
Do either one of you have girlfriends? Do either one of you have someone who cares particularly about you now at this point in your life?
I do. I have someone who I love very much and is a saint to put up with everything that comes with this.
Can you tell us who she is?
Yeah, her name is Anna Erickson, and I hope that we can get married. Even though it's a very limited relationship because of where we are, the exchange of love and sharing, it keeps you in touch with yourself and softer, and you know, otherwise you can become very hard and cold in here.
Is this someone you knew before prison?
No.
This is someone who began to write to you and meet you?
She wrote me many years ago, but and I've come to know her well, but just someone that I met through the mail.
And she wants to marry you?
And she does.
Erik?
No, not at the moment.
You're not going to meet a lot in prison, Erik.
No, I probably won't. It's hard. Lyle's more able to have that type of relationship.
Erik, you know that the prosecutor brought up the fact that you might have been a homosexual and that this might have caused some of the fury on your father's part.
Yes, he did.
I didn't hear about girlfriends.
They were there.
I guess what I just have to say to you is, are you gay?
No. No, the prosecutor brought that up because I was sexually molested, and he felt in his own thinking that if I was sodomized by my father, that I must have enjoyed it, and therefore I must be gay, and the people that are gay out there must be sexually molested or they wouldn't be. Felt, and it was upsetting to hear, but I'm not gay, but a lot of gay people write and feel connected to me.
A problem at the trial was the gender bias, that because we were dealing with males and in an incest family, that there's sort of perceptions that, well, maybe it was something that he wanted, something that he allowed to happen, that he shouldn't be allowed to feel afraid because he's a male. I really felt that people might have seen this case very differently if it were a sister that I was protecting or that was involved in this and not a brother.
You know this whole business of abuse excuse, that you were abused by your parents, sexually abused, emotionally abused by this tough, unyielding father. But there are lots of people who are abused sexually in other ways and they don't kill their parents, and you've been ridiculed for this abuse excuse. What do you say about it?
Abuse excuse is a word that Alan Dershowitz made up, not knowing anything about the case. To simplify it to its simplest degree, if a person is raped, man or woman, and she kills the man who raped her, is it an excuse that the reason she killed him is because she was raped? Of course not. I certainly never felt that what I did was justified or right. It was just a question of how wrong was it.
That was a big misperception about this case, that it was about justification or excuse. And my brother and I essentially pled guilty. That was very hard for me to hear the ridicule about that, because I really felt that Erik and I, we could have gone to trial like most people and just sort of, we weren't there, it wasn't us, and had that trial.
What do you mean we could have gone to trial? We weren't there?
Well, you could go to trial and just say that I was, you know, chipping golf balls at the time and I wasn't there. And Erik and I went to trial and said, we did this.
There were tapes. There were tapes.
Tapes became admissible because we said we did it. Lyle and I fought because he felt that telling the world that Dad was a sexual torturer was killing Dad twice, and he did not want to kill Dad twice. And he fought, and he said, I don't want to go up there, I'm not going to take the stand, I'm not going to do it. And then when he did, there was a great outpouring, but there was also people laughing at him, and it was strange.
Erik, you were able to tell your psychologist that you had killed your parents, but you were not able to tell your psychologist that your father had abused you?
Unless you've been molested, you can't realize how hard it is to tell.
Because of shame?
Because of shame.